Hello there ladies and gentlemen, how are you doing? It's Alexander Hilly123 here and it's time for a new video, and as you can see today I'm playing Football Manager 2011 on the PC. And yeah, this video is going in the Classic series. Basically the Classic series is where I talk of the history and my experiences of a game's franchise, series, whatever, and why I define it as a classic. And I've wanted to do a modern Football Manager game for a while. I'm not specifically talking about 2011 here, although I do think it's definitely one of the best Football Manager games. I just picked this one because out of all the Football Manager games I've got that are modern, that I can play, that I've got on Steam at least, that are not like physical disc copy, I thought this one would be less intensive to run and record at the same time on my laptop, because my laptop is getting old now, and I'm not sure how Football Manager 2013 would run whilst recording on OBS. But yeah, I did a video on Championship Manager 1 or 2 about 3 years ago, almost to the day actually, and it got around about 10,000 views, or it has as of about right now, or a bit less I think. But obviously that video resonated with people, and I'm delighted that a lot of people enjoyed watching it who haven't played the game in years, or people who still play the game, who wanted to watch footage of it on YouTube. So I'm absolutely delighted with that. Maybe this video will get a lot of views as well, possibly, although I do doubt it, because obviously this game hasn't got the same nostalgic feeling. You know, you look at Championship Manager 1 or 2, it's just absolutely legendary from a playability aspect, the graphics, the background, the skin. Every single thing about that game is perfect. You know, for me, it's definitely my top 5 games of all time, within any genre. Absolutely sensational. But yeah, my experience with this fantastic series was when I was watching my brother play it on his Amiga back in 1994, would you believe, when I was 4 or 5 years of age. Just resonates with me. I remember it very well. He was managing Juventus, and I think he'd bought a young Zinedine Zidane before he actually moved to Juventus, funnily enough. Those kind of things do happen when you play a Football Manager. You guys will know what I'm talking about. And I just remember being enthralled by the colours on the screen. You know, he was Juventus, so black and white. I remember him playing teams like Inter Milan, AC Milan, so that's black and blue and black and red, and all these words flashing up on the screen. And obviously when a goal goes in, it flashes and says goal for Juventus. And even from a young age, that intrigued me. But I think my brother got rid of his Amiga in the mid-late 90s, and it wasn't until 1999 when we got a family PC, and then a year or two later my dad let us put Championship Manager 2000 on it, and I watched my brother play the game yet again. And obviously by that time I was older, I was intrigued, and I wanted to get it into it myself. And it wasn't until Championship Manager 2000-2001 that I did that. But it wasn't long, but 6 months later, before Championship Manager 1 or 2 came along, and I sunk so many hours into that game. It's just absolutely ludicrous. It used to come with an addictiveness rating, didn't it? I think modern games still do, where it says your toast is burning, you should change your pants, who needs outdoors anyway, you know, things like that. Quite funny. And yeah, I played that game so much, it's just absolutely ridiculous. So addictive. And I remember the summer of 2002 watching the World Cup in South Korea and Japan, listening to the radio, and some of the songs that were from that era in the early 2000s. When I hear them now, all I think of is Championship Manager 1 or 2, and it's absolutely fantastic nostalgia. But then the series in 2004 became Football Manager, and I think the publisher of the game went from Eidos to Sega. Sega took it over, but Sports Interactive still actually developed the game and made it. And it became Football Manager. And I remember telling all my mates at school, don't get the new Championship Manager, get the new Football Manager. And I'm glad I did that. I saved people probably a lot of anger and stress, because the Championship Manager games have never been as good as the Football Manager games when they changed hands. And Sports Interactive made a fantastic return with Football Manager 2005, 2006, 2007. That trio of games, they all play very similar, they all look very similar. The 2D match screen was introduced with Champman 2 or 3, I believe, but they evolved it basically with those games, and it runs really fluidly even today. And I was just really excited to see these little 2D icons. You know, I played it without any footage so many years, and to see these little 2D icons was absolutely awesome. And obviously making your own schoolmates, I did that back in the day. On the editor, on the database, I spent a lot of time editing together my mates' heights and what I felt their skills were, and what position I put them in, things like that. I made celebrities. I did all sorts of funky kind of databases. I had a right laugh with it back in the day. Absolutely fantastic. And then I had a spell away from the game because just my life at the time, I started college, had a few jobs here and there, and 2008, 2009, 2010, I didn't play the game, and it wasn't until early 2011 when I got my new laptop where I played Football Manager again, and I was just buzzing with it. You know, the new 3D match screen, the font and the layout, the skin of the game had evolved a lot. The backgrounds have long gone now. I don't know if it's even possible. I think it is possible to play the newer games with backgrounds, but they don't put them in the game, probably because of copyright and shit like that these days. But still great fun, much more in depth. But I still prefer to play the newer games with a 2D match screen. But the last Football Manager game that I have is Football Manager 2013. Now, if you look online and with reviews and whatnot, the Football Manager games always get great reviews, but I don't think that the last 2 or 3 Football Manager games have been as good. I think there's a lot of bugs in the game. I think in ways they're really unrealistic, and they should be a little bit better right now. I don't want to go too in depth on why I feel that way in this video, but yeah, 2013, 14, and even the new 2015 game, just look online. The match screen, the bugs in the game, the players look like they're on ice, unrealistic scores and things happening. Maybe I've just outgrown it, I don't know, but the last Football Manager game that I loved was 2012, and in my opinion that is the best modern Football Manager game. Absolutely fantastic. But I decided to show you guys 2011 today because I believed it would run best on my laptop, even though I haven't really shown you much. But at the end of the day, what can I show you? Manchester United won the Premier League according to Football Manager in 2011, and I believe they did in real life as well. And they secured the double as well, beating Aston Villa 2-1. Emil Heskey scored a goal, ladies and gentlemen. What do you think about that? Absolutely outstanding. But United were denied the treble due to an ex-Manchester City player, Robinho, who scored in the 35th minute. This was at Wembley. I think in real life Barcelona beat Manchester United 3-1 that year. But it was the defence of AC Milan, that typically resolute Italian defence, that kept the United out. But Pirlo, Ambrosini, Flamini, Seedorf, with that guy Ibrahimovic up front, AC Milan just ousted United out of it. Stoke, Blackpool and West Brom were relegated. I believe in real life Blackpool were relegated, but I don't think West Brom and Stoke were. I think maybe Birmingham, maybe West Ham were relegated. Not 100% there. Possibly Wolves. No, it wasn't Wolves. But yeah, there we go. 37 points for West Brom, and they still got relegated. Wigan, though, with 43 points, just about surviving, as they did for so many years and more back in the day. Manchester City finished 10th, and let me tell you, Mancini lost his job. You can't be surprised. And Man City on this game, this is a few years after the oil money came in. They can either be absolutely fantastic or absolutely terrible. It just depends on who Mancini buys and what he does with the team, basically. Liverpool, it was a very poor season, but they won the Europa League or the Europa Cup or whatever the hell it's called, by beating Sporting Lisbon 2-0. Aga and Maxi Rodriguez are getting the goals there. Tons of teams in the Europa League, Europa Cup, Europa, no one gives a shit. Newcastle, Aston Villa and Everton. And Tottenham, just as they did in real life, qualified for the Champions League, although they'll have to go through the playoff obviously, and by finishing 4th, Chelsea in 3rd and Arsenal in 2nd. And just show you some of the squads here. Robin Van Persie before he made his move to Manchester United. Jack Wilshere, and he isn't injured, ladies and gentlemen. Can you believe that? Outrageous. Chelsea on this game, and on a lot of the modern Football Manager games, in my opinion, are very underrated. Because I guess it's a managerial merry-go-round at Chelsea, as it usually is. And if you look on the database, the editing database, whatever, the editor, you can actually see that even the chairmen have their own personalities, and I believe Ibrahimovic, although seeing Ibrahimovic at Chelsea chairman would be quite funny. His patience is basically 1 out of 10 or 1 out of 20 or whatever it is. So as soon as they don't win the league, he sacks the manager. They bring new players in. What the hell is he doing at Chelsea? And they never really have a sustained spell of dominance in the Premier League because of that. But yeah, I really don't mind going back and playing these Football Manager games. You know, I could easily start with a random team from League One on this game now, even though it's from 2010, when the season will begin, of course, and I can still have a ton of fun on the game. But I'm not really sure whether my time with the Football Manager games is up, whether I've outgrown them. Like I said, I've just not got the time to play them or whatnot. Because, of course, since 2013, they've introduced the Football Manager Classic mode. And if you don't know already, then that is a more streamlined mode. It sounds good in essence, but at the same time, it doesn't grab me like the old Champman games do. I don't know why. I feel like I'm missing out on the new Football Manager games when I play in Classic, because I feel like when my team aren't doing well, it's because I'm not able to tell them to do a certain thing, or I can't speak to a player or train them in a same kind of way, or it's because I've not got the backroom staff, because you don't basically get a ton of backroom staff that you can in the full game. So I'm a bit on the fence about that, to be honest with you. But who knows, maybe that craving for modern Football Manager will come back and I'll play them again in the future. Who knows? But yeah, I could well start a new season in League One. Let's see who we've got in League One. Kind of teams you could be. MK Dons, everyone's favourite team. Sheffield Wednesday, we're getting them back in the Premier League. It's been a while. Southampton in League One on this game with a fantastic academy. You know what? Look at some of those players there, guys. That could be a good challenge, let me tell you. Well, Football Manager, I love being the big teams. I love being the smaller teams. You had a Colwyn Bay season on Football Manager 2012. That was the last time I played the game, about a year ago. And I had Frank Sinclair in my team, actually. Pretty bizarre. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to call it quits here. Football Manager. It is a classic series. For me, the peak was 2012. But nevertheless, it's a game franchise that so many people have fond memories of. I'm one of them. Thank you for watching, guys, and I'll see you soon.